Hey, I'm Simon, and I love drugs, and I found the cure to any addiction you will ever face in this lifetime. I've been dealing with addiction since I was 14, and I'm 23 now, so for the past 9 years. I was in rehab by the time I was 16. I've been dealing with drugs on and off, weed, alcohol, pills, you name it. And for the past few years, I've really been trying to figure out how to take my life back and to not be controlled by a substance. And I would say for the past year and a half, I've been very successful in doing so. And my life has completely changed in so many ways, and it's 10 times better than it was. And the biggest thing, I actually want to be here now. You know, from age 14 to 21, 22, I didn't want to be here. I was done. I was ready to move on. I was done. I didn't want to be here. But now I actually do. And I want to make this video to share what actually worked for me. This isn't a 12-step program. This isn't some worksheet. This is the real shit, and it's gonna work if you do it. So, like I said, the cure is called purpose. And for the past couple years, I've been chasing this thing called purpose. You know, people say you gotta find your life purpose, and that's where your happiness comes from. But the thing is, I don't know how to find my life purpose. And I found a medium. It's called chasing your life purpose. You know, and you make finding your life purpose that is your life purpose. And that's what I've been doing. So I've just been trying different things and seeing what works and what doesn't. And what I found is that I work on these things called projects. I call them my projects. So I'm going to give you some examples of my projects. Shaping my physique and building my physique and being careful about what I eat and taking care of my health, I would consider that to be one of my projects. And it takes up a lot of my time. And I enjoy doing so, and it makes me feel better. And it also distracts me from any negative vices that I may have had. You know, instead of, hey, I'm going to go smoke, hey, I'm going to go take a Xanax and watch Rick and Morty, it's, hey, I'm going to go to the gym. Hey, I'm going to go do this outdoor workout. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to make this healthy meal prep for the next week. Your mindset just shifts completely. So that's an example of one of my projects. Another one is YouTube, and making YouTube videos about how to become your best self and how I'm working towards that, and I'm trying to help other people do the same thing. That's one of my projects. Social media. I'm trying to build this social media brand to help other people and to finally be free from a 9-to-5 and grow it to the point where I can just make videos and I can just become my best self and help other people do the same thing, and then I can find an income from that. That's a project. Another one of my projects is a clothing brand that I'm working on. It's called I Heart Nerds, and I don't necessarily love to design clothes, but it makes me feel fulfilled, and that's one of my projects, right? And I seek fulfillment in that, so I don't seek fulfillment elsewhere in some negative vice like drugs. So these are just projects that I've been working on, and I have a list of 50 or so projects that I would make myself do before I go get high, before I go pop a pill, before I go smoke. And these projects, I have found recently that working on these projects is me working towards my purpose and working towards me finding my purpose, because I don't necessarily know my purpose. I don't know my life's work, but I know how to work towards it. And that is the single cure to addiction and how to beat any addiction you'll ever face. And it's how I've beat every single addiction that I have faced so far in my life, and there's been a few of them for sure. I'm gonna be honest, the biggest things for me were getting out of my old environment, and I quit surrounding myself with negative people and people that were holding me back, and I had a really hard time doing that. So I just kind of got fed up and I said I'm done. So I moved 5,000 miles away from home, completely by myself. And I was 21. It was right when I turned 21, so a couple years ago. And I moved to Hawaii, which is where I am right now, from Indianapolis to Hawaii. And it didn't go well, obviously, because I wasn't in a place to surround myself with positive people. So as soon as I moved here, you know, I started hanging out with people that were drinking and smoking, and I got right back into it. So running away from your problems doesn't necessarily work. And it took me, that was a hard lesson to learn. It took me 5,000 miles away and completely uprooting my whole entire life to learn that. And I did, I learned that. And another thing I did was, this was the biggest thing for me, was going to the gym. And I know that might sound cliche, but going to the gym, not only did it give me something to do instead of get high, it gave me a set schedule, right? And it made me build myself up for the first time in my life. I was doing something positive and productive for myself, and I started to care about my health and my physique and working towards a goal. And that was huge. That was the first glimpse I ever had of that, and that was massive. And the gym played a really, really big role in that, because I started seeing this version of myself that I've never seen before. And after I saw that, I kept wanting to push towards that. So I started going to the gym every single day, and I put a rule in place that if I ever had a craving or I wanted to get high or drink, I had to go to the gym. And I ended up going to the gym a lot, every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. And I got this really awesome schedule set in place, but still, it wasn't perfect. I would still slip up and smoke or drink, but for the first time, I was working towards someone who I had never seen before, and I was proud of becoming. That was just a massive step. And running was also a really, really big one for me, because running, it pushes your body harder than anything else I've ever found, and you can kind of control how you push it. And it just makes you feel really, really good. You get this runner's high afterwards, and once again, you get to work towards being a better version of yourself. And from smoking for so long, I had, really bad lung issues, so running just helped me towards that, and it helped clear out my lungs and better breathing and better health overall, and I felt better, and I was like, why would I quit doing this? I'm gonna keep doing this. So that was another really, really big one for me. And then eventually I added on what I call my projects. So what I'm working on right now. So I quit my job 10 months ago to pursue this dream of entrepreneurship and creating this social media brand, and it's something I've wanted to do for so long, but I never had the balls to do it, and I don't know why. Just my anxiety and stuck in addiction, but I finally did it, and I'm doing it. And is it going perfect? Is it going how I thought it would be? Am I making money? No, not at all, but I'm working towards something. Every single day I get to wake up and work towards something I'm proud of. And I love that. I absolutely love that. Am I uncertain about where this is going? Do I know if it's going to work? No, I have no idea. But is it a cool project I get to work towards and build my purpose and get fulfillment from, and I don't need to seek drugs to get that fulfillment? Fuck yeah, it is. Yeah, and that's what matters. People don't see behind the screen. People don't see why I'm doing this or what I'm trying to build. I'm not just out here chasing a check or chasing some version of fame and success that's just shallow and selfish. I don't care about that. I'm chasing a better version of myself, and I want to help other people do the same thing. And I'm doing this every day, so I don't go back to my old life. So I don't go back to waking up at noon and smoking weed all day and going through 2 ounces of weed a week and drinking 3 or 4 times a week and popping pills and watching Netflix and jacking off and being fat. And fuck that lifestyle, man. You get fed up, and you get fed up so quick, and you just get so depressed to the point where I was suicidal every single day, and I was just done. I was done with it. So I created this, and I'm never gonna stop. I'm never gonna stop working towards the best version of myself and making myself the best version of me, and working on these projects and working on my health and working on my relationships with my girlfriend and my mom and my dad and my brothers and my stepdad and my friends. I'm never gonna stop. It's a never-ending project, and I'm gonna keep making myself the best version of me possible. For me, yeah, and for the people closest to me in my life, and for my future kids. And I'm never gonna stop, man. I'm never gonna stop chasing this version of success. And after I've had a taste of it, there's no going back. There's no going back. And that is the single cure to any addiction you'll ever face in life. And I know I'm making it sound easy, and it's a very, very simple concept. It is an extremely hard execution. It's the hardest thing I've ever done by far, not even close. And that's just something. If you wanna work towards that, follow my journey. Use me as an example, because I'm gonna slip up, and I'm gonna tell you when I slip up. At 3 weeks ago for Halloween, I got fucking hammered with some of my friends. We went out, I got hammered. I fucked up. But what I had when I woke up? I had this. I had my YouTube channel. I had I had the gym, I had running, I had my girlfriend, and I had all these great relationships to work on and put work towards this version of success that I've been building for years. So that's the thing. I relapsed and I slipped up, but when I woke up, I had something to work towards. Let's say I go home and pop a Xanax right now. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna have this. And I'm not gonna wanna do that again. And I'm gonna be so upset with myself because that went against everything I've been building for the past 3 fucking years. That's what keeps me going. I can slip up, and if I slip up, I will tell you. But I'm gonna have something to fall back on, and that's what I'm building, and that's what I've been building. And it feels so fucking good, and I wanna share that with you. And if you're struggling with addiction and you're just stuck in this spot, and it feels like you're just done, you're done with life, don't be. Work towards something. You know, take that step to go do something positive and productive, and just let that build on top of this thing and that thing, and just keep on going. Look, I know what it's like to just be stuck in this cycle of waking up, getting high, feeling like shit, and then you're anxious and you're depressed and you don't want to be here, and this girl won't respond to you, and you're dealing with heartbreak, and your relationships with your parents are shit, and you're at work and you hate your job, and you suck, and you just like, and you're not working towards your health, and you feel like shit all the time. I know what that's like. I lived that for many years, and it gets to the point where you're done, and you can either get out one way or another. And I was very, very close many times to getting out and taking that step that I couldn't get back, and moving on to my next life. And I didn't want to do that. So I took the step of making myself the best version of me possible. And that's why I take this whole addiction thing so seriously. That's why I take this whole finding your purpose and working towards your best self so seriously, because for me it is life or death. And I know for a lot of people out there it's life or death too. I'm building this version of success that's not toxic, that's positive, and it builds you up, and it keeps me from going back to my old life. That's what I do. That's what Simons of Sin is. And if you want to follow along, do it. Seriously, I make videos like this all the time, just talking about my progress. And on my TikTok and Instagram, my short form content and YouTube shorts, every single day I make a video. I've made a video, multiple videos every single day for the past 220 days, for the past 10 months. And I document every single day. I do daily recaps or certain things that I do to beat addiction, just little short videos. I make a video every single day, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna keep doing it. So follow along. If you watch this video and it helped, I appreciate you. Seriously, take that next step. I'm gonna be right here. I'm gonna be making videos. Come back to this video. I'm starting a website here soon. Come back to that website. All this shit's free. You know, eventually I'll make stuff that you can pay for, because I have to make money at some point, but this shit's free. Watch my videos, subscribe to me, watch my other videos. I'm gonna keep doing this. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Keep going.